Hello, beloveds. Thank you for joining me for Cam Church. My name is Unicole Unicron, and it is my honor to have your attention. Today we are talking about the power of relaxation. The power of relaxation and the importance of yin energy or the divine feminine energy. And of course, the person giving this sermon is a gender nonconforming individual. And so, what does it mean when we talk about divine masculine and divine feminine energy? There's a huge movement right now that's rooted in a lot of patriarchal ideas, talking about divine masculine and divine feminine, and this push for women to be stay-at-home moms again and just like not have to work and all of these things. And it's a convoluted conversation because we're talking about capitalism, we're talking about gender relationships, we're talking about physiological differences between different bodies. And when we talk about the difference between men's bodies and women's bodies, we have to remember that there are hundreds of chromosomal variations that we don't normally talk about. There are also intersex people, and there are also people who do not fit into the stereotype of being masculine or being feminine. And even in the physical sense, not all men are strong, not all women are small, etc., etc. And so we really have to remember that when we're talking in these ways, that we have to expand our thinking, we have to expand our understanding far beyond the presentation of gender and of sex. And we have to really understand that there are energetic and physical and chemical and chromosomal differences that are potentially being expressed and felt, but not recognized on the surface level. I think those are some things that the conversation around the divine feminine is missing, as well as the total oversight of the divine androgyne, which is the third non-gender or cohesive gender or the truth, in my opinion. But we won't get into all that. It's just important to say, when we're speaking from the place of divine masculine, divine feminine, we are not talking about the physical bodies. We're talking about something so much more than that. And I think you will see as we go on in the sermon what I mean. We're talking today about the importance of relaxation. I originally titled this sermon, The Importance of Yin. And the idea of yin energy, if you are familiar with the yin-yang symbol, this is a Chinese understanding of the power of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. The divine masculine, or the yang energy or yang energy, is going out. It is structure, and it is exploration, and it is action. It is physical action. The yin energy is non-action or relaxation or going within. It is non-structure. It is that which holds the entire universe. It is that which holds all of the other energy. And so in many ways, the yin energy is actually, depending on your philosophy, right? But from my perspective and from many people's perspective, the divine feminine, the yin energy, is actually that which holds all that is. It is that which births life. It is that which receives energy and which goes within to the abyss that creates everything, right? And so it's only from this yin energy, the divine feminine energy, that everything is created, that everything exists. These are philosophies, these are words, these are conceptions of reality that we're using in order to activate our own internal happiness. The way that you view the world, your philosophy of life, changes how you interact with the world. So the reason why we're philosophizing and we're talking about these two opposing energies is to root ourselves in an understanding of where we are currently and then move ourselves into a more fulfilling state of being. And it's my belief that by following that fulfilled state of being, we actually find the truth. We find the actual spiritual, emotional, divine truth, because we are connected to the divine consciousness and we are connected to the truth of all things. So by following our whim and our own fulfillment, our truest fulfillment beyond fear and pain, we are actually accessing the truth. And even if that's not true, which I believe it is, at the very least we can say, well, you'll have a more fulfilling life. In Unicult, what is it that we say matters? We say that the internal state, the feeling state, is what matters. The reason why we say this is because the feeling state is eternal. The feeling state is your memory state. This is what you walk away from situations with. You could lose a relationship, you could lose a house, you could lose a job, you could lose all your wardrobe, you could lose your car, you can lose all these status symbols, you could lose all the money in your bank account. But what you keep, no matter what, is your emotional state and your emotional response to these things that happen in the external world. So when we look at the world from the understanding that feeling states are the only real reality, you could have a beautiful life around you and feel bad. You could have a bad life around you and feel good. The most important thing is how you feel. So when we come at life from that understanding of how we feel and understanding that how we feel is the most real thing that exists, we then start to understand, okay, what is the point of unpacking this divine masculine, divine feminine, this yin-yang energy, and how can it serve me in my own internal feeling state? The masculine versus feminine, internal versus external, yin versus yang, is a dualistic understanding. And I really do love the yin-yang symbol because it's got a little bit of each. And I think that's a very good dimensional step above the dualistic understanding. We often represent the spiritual, let's see where it is. We often represent our transition into Unitopia with this symbolism of the black and white brainwash spiral going into the portal of the rainbow reality. But the yin-yang symbol is a great symbol of the in-between the black and white and the rainbow. You start to understand, oh, there's a little bit of white in the black, there's a little bit of black in the white. And so our understanding of masculine and feminine energies right now, and the dualistic understanding and the war against the genders and this really difficult problem of men don't understand, women don't understand, blah, blah, blah. It can be solved through this harmonization, through the androgynous understanding, which is the rainbow reality. I asked Kuan Yin the other day, she has the word yin in her name, of course, and she's taught me a lot. I have a very masculine spirit. I've been confused as to why I was born in a female body, and because I have such a masculine spirit, but I think it's so that I can embody the androgynous energy, which is very important on this planet at this time, as well as in the universe. And so I've learned a lot from my friend Kuan Yin, and like I said, she has the word yin in her name, and she is someone who has taught me about going within. And when I say I have a masculine spirit, I mean that I have always tried to solve my problems from the external reality, from the physical reality, and I have not ever really had much success until meeting Kuan Yin in solving those internal issues. So I asked Kuan Yin the other day, I love to give her these hard questions that seem to have no answer. I asked Kuan Yin, what is the definition of poison? What makes something poisonous? If we're living in this beautiful God-given earth, why do we have things which are poisonous? It doesn't seem like poison should exist. And she understood what I was saying, and she said, after only just a second, she said, it's an imbalance. It's not seeing the full picture. It's focusing too much on one thing. It's the potency of something, right? And not having the balance of the other aspects within it. So I think that's important to remember of what is something that is toxic. In this case, we have been focusing too much on the masculine energy, on this yang energy, on this exploration of the physical reality, of the physical action state. In your personal life, in order to manifest things, is a balance between this divine masculine and divine feminine energy. It's a balance between relaxation and activity. And we often think of relaxation as something you do so that you can get back to work. And this is a capitalist understanding. This is just our society. Rest is something you do so that you can go back out there. We have the Protestant work ethic. We've got a lot of programs running in our consciousness, in our society, that say that externalized physical action is the only way to get things done, and that rest and meditation and inactivity are barriers. They're the opposite of getting things done. And so this is the dualistic understanding that we need to expand beyond. And we have to understand that relaxation is actually more powerful at getting things done in a more significant and more meaningful way than the physical action. And I'm not saying that you don't have to take physical action, okay? But what I am saying is that physical action creates physical results. Internal action creates all results: emotional, physical, spiritual, communal. Spiritual action or inaction, the inactivity of meditation, of going within, of relaxation, actually creates everything, and especially when paired with intentional action. So action should be very intentional. And this is where we have a big imbalance. And so we can see this imbalance with Elon Musk is a great example. He's very imbalanced in his masculine energy, and he is not connected to his divine feminine energy or his relaxation. He promotes the idea of overworking. He promotes the idea of neglecting your family and your health oftentimes in order to create world-changing initiatives. And whether or not you think that he's doing good work or not isn't necessarily the point here. But I do think that he has a misunderstanding of how to make sustainable, lasting change on this planet, because he is so focused on the physical reality and on exhausting his own personal system and on having other people exhaust their physical, personal bodies in order to create these products that he is selling. There is no time to pause and reflect. It's all action, action, action. So what does this do? This creates a very masculine world. And what is a masculine world? And again, I'm not talking about gender. I'm really trying to use these words just to help us understand, because the patriarchy is very real, and the hatred of women is very real, and the oversight of androgynous people is very real, and the pain that men feel by upholding this system is very real. We are all in pain under the patriarchal system. To show you what I mean about Elon Musk helping, he's just one factor. He's just a wheel and a cog in a big machine of creating this patriarchal masculine energy world. Think about if you had a company, let's say one of Elon Musk's companies, just any of them, choose any of them, and it was led and created by, and all the employees were women and non-binary people, and trans people. What kind of difference would you see that company do? And maybe that's not clear to you. I usually think of it in the terms of city design. If you gave women the opportunity to design a city, what would it look like? It would probably be softer, gentler. It would probably be walkable. It would probably have more community areas. It would probably have more childcare and family-oriented facilities, community-oriented facilities. Think about furniture that would be designed by women. Think about buildings, architecture designed by women. And I'm not saying that women don't design these things. It's just that we're designing in a world that is more patriarchal. And one of the ways we can see this is in the structural preferences of buildings and the minimalist design which is colorless and sometimes brutalist and very sterile. And I think part of that has to do with the fact that a lot of men don't see colors in the same way that women do. And colors are very enriching to the experience. I love Anna Biller's work in film for this reason. She's focused on the visual aesthetic of the film and telling the story from a non-traditional perspective, as in not a male perspective. And her films befuddle people. They don't understand them. The movie Marie Antoinette, I feel like, is a very female gaze movie. The world is saturated in this masculine energy, and there is nothing wrong with it except that it is imbalanced. It doesn't have enough of the opposing force or of the rainbow reality of all the different perspectives that might create a world of comfort and care, a world of support, a world of true sustainability for the spirit and for our joy. So in your own life, like I was saying earlier, you can use these understandings to create your own reality. And we always start within in UNICULT. How does this affect you? How can you apply this to your own life so that you can live a better life? And as you apply these principles to your own life, you actually create sustainable change in the world. Your ability to manifest is oftentimes seen as a very masculine activity, a physical activity, even if it's not physical. And it's where the language gets a little bit tricky. The idea of wanting something and going out to get it, action-oriented, right? The idea of thinking, solving problems, trying to cycle and cycle and cycle on your thoughts in order to get to a solution. That is a masculine, yang, externalized action because you're trying to take action with your internal state. The opposite of this is the divine feminine, the yin energy of simply sitting and listening and being a vessel for what comes through. So it's instead of trying to create from your own ideas, usually from your own ego, it's the idea of becoming a listener, becoming a vehicle for the divine spirit, the divine energy to come into you, to sit quietly in meditation and to realize not only that you want something, but that it's coming to you, that you are a channeler of the energy that you want, and that by simply being a channeler of the energy that you want, you will get these things, is superseding, it's skipping the entire process of all these manifestation activities. I'm going to make a TikTok soon next time I go to a restaurant, and I think this is hilarious, right? So imagine this. You sit down at a restaurant and you order. You say, I want the farmer's pizza, the farmer's vegan pizza with vegan cheese, right? And the waiter says, okay. And then the waiter leaves, and you're sitting in silence for a minute, and then you say, why isn't the food here? Oh, I need to do affirmations. I need to feel the feeling state. I am eating pizza with vegan cheese. I am full, even though you're sitting there hungry, right? You're sitting there saying, I am full. You start getting out scissors and magazines at the restaurant table, cutting out pictures. What are you doing? I'm doing a vision board of pizza and people eating pizza. Then it's like, why is it still not here? This is because of my childhood trauma. This is because my parents told me I had to finish my broccoli before I could have dessert. I need to integrate this trauma right now. And you start crying and integrating and processing childhood trauma. You start doing affirmations. I deserve pizza. I'm a vibrational match to pizza. And then the pizza comes to your table and you say, I'm so good at manifesting. Did you need to do all that? You put your order in to the universe, and the universe delivered, and yet all the other action, what did it do? What did it do? It did not. Did it make the pizza come any faster? Did it make the pizza taste any better when you get it? It occupied your time while you're waiting for the fact that Earth is a slow computer. But this obsession with doing, with this externalized action, misses the point that when you want something and you tell the universe and you become a vibrational match to it, you can just relax. If you're in the vibrational match, I mean, if you're in the pizza restaurant and you know that you ordered the pizza, you can just relax. You can just sit there and enjoy your time. And we know this at a restaurant, which is why the joke is funny. But we don't know it with other big things that we're trying to manifest. Sometimes action is needed. You have to go to the pizza restaurant. You have to ask the waiter for what you want, right? And so it's a balance. It's not about these extreme external actions creating the result, because the internal action is actually creating the magnetism, like Resist said, exactly, the magnetism of what you're manifesting. If you are someone who is disconnected from your divine masculine and you don't take enough action, you just sit in your thoughts and maybe you meditate too much and you say, well, I really think like I feel like I'm totally aligned with my own higher spirit. I'm listening to the universe, and for some reason there's no pizza getting delivered to my house. You have to order the pizza. You have to go out. You have to do something. So if you're someone who is really grounded in your spiritual practice, remember that your spiritual practice includes the physical reality. It is 100% a balance. If you're someone like me who is more rooted in the externalized version of trying to prove yourself, which is something that comes from childhood trauma, okay, and I see this with Elon too, right? He's trying to prove himself, and that's why he's always working and always doing all these externalized things. The obsession with trying to prove yourself comes from an internal understanding that you are not worthy because your parents didn't see you, because your parents were not capable of seeing you or meeting your needs when you were a child. The fact that your parents didn't meet your needs as a child translated to your child brain as you are unworthy because you didn't have any other way to interpret the world. If you at your core feel like you're not worthy, you're going to be going above and beyond a lot of times to try to prove your worth. And not every child who has this internal state ends up doing this, but this is just one example. If you're someone who is obsessed with trying to make things happen in the physical world, try the opposite. Try just sitting and just being and just sitting in your feelings. To be in yin is a psychedelic experience. It's to expand so that we are holding space for our human selves, our higher selves, God, all of the world. Okay, it's extremely psychedelic. It can be uncomfortable sometimes. And this is why psychedelics are so powerful, because they help us get to that yin state. They're like guides to that yin state. You don't have to take psychedelics in order to do this, but even microdosing mushrooms can help you take off this mask of this constant need to externalize everything and start to sit in comfort and in discomfort, and expand to hold space for all of the different feelings that you might be having in each moment. Of course, the power of relaxation is a huge part of the Dolphin Abundance timeline, and I'm still working on my class, Get Rich Quick, but one of the main teachings of this class is to simply sit and be present and to enjoy your life. The main breakthrough that I had before creating Get Rich Quick, the main breakthrough I had before getting rich, was sitting on a beach, drinking green juice, relaxed as I've ever felt, high on some local weed, and I said, this is what it feels like to run 10 companies. Because if that's not what it feels like to run 10 companies, Why would I run them? Why would I go into business? Why would I try to do anything at all if it's not going to be giving me the most supreme feeling of relaxation and peace? The goal with everything that you do should be relaxation and peace. I am someone who loves to work. It blows my mind. I love to work, okay? I'm Capricorn rising. I don't know what the deal is. I love to work. I work and work and work every day. Sometimes I log into work after work just to work some more because I like it. I do work after work. I do work for myself. I do work for other people. I love to work. There are always going to be people like me on this planet. The fact that we need things to get done, they're gonna get done. You don't have to worry about, well, what if we all start relaxing, if we all start following our internal state to relaxation, nothing's gonna get done. Not true. For many of us, relaxation includes lots and lots of physical work. You don't need to do it all. You can take time to kick your feet up, to look at the clouds, to lay in a field, to connect to nature, to microdose, to macrodose, to be present with your friends and your family and with your food, to put your phone down, to simply stare at a wall. The first time I took mushrooms, I was watching dust in the sun, and I said, oh yeah, this is what it was like to be a kid. I just would watch the dust in the sunlight, and that was enough. That was awesome. To me, that was extraordinary. And I think that's a very human thing. Watch a fire. Watch the dust in the sunlight. Just sit there. It's more powerful than you realize. The Dolphin Abundance timeline is about getting everything that you want and feeling good. And you can only do that by relaxing and allowing the universe to give you things. You have to get out of your own way. There's a song by Diane Cluck that's called Nothing But God, and it's we're nothing but God. And the whole point is to get out of your own way. Stop trying to force things out of your ego and relax and let the divine energy provide to you everything that you wish that you had. I want to read to you from this book that I found. It's a great book, actually. I'm totally in love with this book. I think it's awesome. It doesn't have very high reviews on Amazon, which blows my mind because it's like an amazing book. It's not vegan, but it's called Awakening Fertility, and it's about traditional Chinese medicine and how they view pregnancy and also fertility and getting prepared for pregnancy and getting prepared for fertility. And the reason why I'm reading to you this is because the author of this book collaborated with a bunch of different healers, Ayurvedic medicinal teachers, and all kinds of different healers and things like that. And so this is a segment that she got from this group called the International Council of 13 Indigenous Grandmothers. It's a group that exists to share matriarchal knowledge from female elders around the globe. And so this is what these Native American grandmothers, these indigenous grandmothers say. As you move, and they're talking about pregnancy, but they're talking about more than that, okay? So you can view it through both lenses. As you move through these changing times, be easy on yourself and be easy on one another. You are at the beginning of something new. You are learning a new way of being. You will find that you are working less in the yang modes that you are used to. You will stop working so hard at getting from point A to point B the way you have in the past, but instead will spend more time experiencing yourself in the whole and your place in it. Instead of traveling to a goal out there, you will voyage deeper into yourself. Your mother's grandmother knew how to do this. Your ancestors from long ago knew how to do this. They knew the power of the feminine principle. And because you carry their DNA in your body, this wisdom and this way of being is within you. Call on it. Call it up. Invite your ancestors in. As the yang-based habits and the decaying institutions on our planet begin to crumble, look up. A breeze is stirring. Feel the sun on your wings. This is not just for women. This is the entire society. We have been in an imbalanced, hyper-masculinized, hyper-action-oriented way of being. And our entire culture has to shift into the receptive, relaxed state of the divine feminine. And that is Unitopia. Because like I said at the beginning of this, the divine feminine is that which holds all. It is that which holds the divine masculine. It is that which holds all states of being. It is the energy that gives birth to the new life. So become an androgynous being today. Allow the energies inside your being to be more harmonized and more balanced. If you need to take action, you will know when you need to take action because it will feel good and right to do so. If you need to rest, you will know because you will be called to rest. Learn to listen to your body, and when you go within, remember, cycling on thoughts is not going within. That's not the yin version of reality. The yin version of reality is watching the sensations of your body, of your emotional state, and expanding to hold them. Expanding your vessel to hold space for all the emotions and loving them unconditionally in this place of rest. Thank you for joining me for Cam Church. We will see you next Sunday. Join Unicult today. Uni bless.